Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
Welcome to Night of the Living podcast. I'm Freddy. There's Amy.
That's me.
And Andy.
Hey.
And I'm keeping the energy up because Amy was a little sleepy.
I'm tired.
Trying to bring things to life in here a little bit.
I've got the tired.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's all about.
We can blame it on the Bengals.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
Because
them.
they're exhausting.
They are. They gave me anemia.
My poor little body can't handle it anymore. Thanks, Cincinnati Bengals.
I mean, they had one job. They had they've lost the last two games really closely, and I needed a win after the events of November 5th.
And they
Right.
said nay.
And they were like, "Nope, sorry, gonna kick you while you're down."
Gonna kick you even harder.
Guess Chargers fans needed that more than we
No, you
did.
can
But
fuck
they
off.
have a winning record.
Yeah,
They're
no.
they're fine.
They're in a blue state. They're
Yeah.
happy. Why can't
They
I
got
be
that
happy?
cool lightning bolt on their helmets. Shouldn't that have been enough?
We played them. We did not play them in the Super Bowl. That
It was the
the
Rams.
But
It's the
they're
same.
both-
It's the same colors
They're
actually.
both, yeah.
And they're both
LA.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's stupid. Why does LA get two? Oh, because you're so big.
Money.
Oh,
Money,
you're
money,
such a
money,
big
money.
town. You need two
But I
of
feel
everything.
I feel your exhaustion, Amy. I've been
Yeah.
exhausted for the last month.
I swear.
It's hard to watch. Like,
Football, losing football.
Yeah, to watch a losing football team over and over again every week, it takes a little out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that line from Shawshank? Hope is, but his like hope is a bad thing sometimes.
Or a dangerous
thing. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
then you end up like this, just blah.
I mean, like a lot of people maybe don't want to hear this because maybe they're not football fans. But if you guys don't know, like every single game we've had this year, it's been within one score.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, points, like 2 points, 1 point, 3 points. And it's just exhausting to see.
It's impossible to watch your team put up impressive stats that would be normal on any winning team, but they continue to lose. And I don't.
Defense.
Yeah.
Defense sucks.
Yeah. You gotta have both.
I'm sorry, this isn't football cast, but it's
Hey,
sad cast.
They've been listening to us for 18 years. They know all about the area we live in,
We live in
our local
Cincinnati.
newscasts,
Yeah.
and
Shreveport.
the food around us, and our
Cincinnati
teams.
chili.
Yeah.
The Bengals.
So we're on number 3 of 4 films this week for the Rock and Shock theme, and Amy picked this one.
I picked Deep Blue Sea because I wanted a fun movie. I don't think this is
Yeah.
as fun as I wanted it to be.
Oh,
this
yes,
time
really?
around.
I still
I
liked
still
it.
had a blast. I like it more than I remember, actually.
It's a better movie than I remember, which is disappointing to me. 'Cause listen,
And it still wasn't
I'm in my trash phase.
as good.
And I need a movie to be bad. This movie was better than it had a right to be.
It's still pretty campy and like B movie stuff
It
happens.
can't be enough.
Yeah.
Saffron Burrows, you suck.
Okay, I thought you would like. Oh, should we just jump into it?
Yeah,
now?
let's jump into
Yeah,
it.
you guys want to do that? All
Yeah,
right.
I do want to do that, Freddie. As a matter of fact, I could keep talking till you're ready.
What are you
to
talking
press the
about?
button.
What are you talking about?
That starts the song that does the thing.
Turn out lights, it's the main attraction.
1998,
99.
1999, 2000 party over. Whoops, out of time.
Deep Blue Sea.
Prince lied to us. We were not out of time. There was a lot more time after that.
Oh, a miserable time.
Saffron Burrows lacks all charisma.
Oh, I thought. Do you hate her or the character?
I feel like the actress lacked charisma.
Okay.
Sorry. But also the character being the one that caused the fucking problem
But,
always bugs me.
I thought you'd like this more because it's the anti-mimic. Because
She does get eaten.
She does get her comeuppance.
Yeah.
You in fact hear
She's chewed up.
the shark crunch her bones.
Yeah.
So that was nice. Listen, that was nice.
It was surprising.
There was a lot of surprise. This was a surprising movie, actually.
Yeah.
It went in certain fates of characters didn't
Yeah.
end up like I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's going to be some chum characters where they're just thrown to the wool, thrown to the sharks. I'm sorry.
Noted Real Housewives fan Michael Rappaport being one of them.
Yeah, and early on, actually, some really talented actors were in this movie. Whether it be cheap CGI aside, campy B movie crap aside, like you have you already mentioned Michael Rappaport, but Stellan Skarsgård as one of the scientists, and it's kind of a small part, and Ada Turturro, who is Tony Soprano's sister,
Janice.
That's
her name. That was her name, right?
I
In the
think so,
movie, yeah.
on Sopranos,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, on Sopranos?
In this,
Yeah.
she was Brenda.
Oh, she was Brenda.
Yeah,
She
she's the one
looked
who
like a
works in the
Janice.
tower. She works in the
Yeah.
tower.
She got blown up.
Yeah,
She got blown up.
she's like one of the fun characters in the beginning that you think is just going to be like wisecracking through the whole movie.
This movie wanted to break your heart a little.
A little bit. Rennie Harlan, who Cliffhanger prior to that was his last successful film before he made this. But he also made Die Hard 2 and A Nightmare on Elm Street for the Dream Master.
But he had some bombs in between Cliffhanger and this. It was what, Long Kiss Goodnight?
Yeah,
Oh,
although
yeah.
that it's actually a pretty fun
No,
movie.
I'm talking
but
in
it did
terms of
terribly.
box office.
Yeah.
And what was that pirate movie he did with Gina Davis?
Third Island.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
island.
It was actually the problems were when he and Gina Davis worked together, they couldn't make money for some reason.
Were they married?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
I
right.
think that's why they made two movies
Yeah.
together.
Deep Blue Sea. See, here's what they were doing. They were going to cure Alzheimer's by genetically modifying mako sharks, sucking out the brain juice, and then injecting people with Alzheimer's with that, and it would redo their brains. It would regrow.
Is that can you inject shark brain juice into humans and be okay?
If
It just seems
Well, they even had like just a blob of brain
Yeah.
they used in the movie. The movie didn't care.
if we
I just
could,
feel
we
it's a
could.
little too
We
easy.
Yeah. It was like very like 60s Batman level science.
Well, here's the thing. You have to, even in humans, you can only get certain your blood type in terms of transfusions.
Yeah.
Because it's not compatible with your blood. But some juice that's not even our species injecting into our bodies.
brain juice,
Yeah.
baby.
They didn't work very hard on like the due diligence on making it any type of accurate.
Samuel L. Jackson is the one bankrolling it. He was great. He played it so straight.
I think
really-
he knew exactly what movie he was in. And that was
Yeah.
maybe it's a little bit of the problem with the cast. Everybody, like Saffron Brower, she took it a little too seriously.
Too serious. She wasn't. She was the mad scientist. Be a little crazy.
Same thing with Thomas Jane. I think he took it seriously
Yeah.
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I think LL Cool J is kind of not very self-aware in this movie.
Yeah. I mean,
He tried to do serious too.
Yeah.
I think Michael Rappaport and Stellan Skarsgård, and to a certain extent, Aida Turturro, they knew what they were in.
I don't see that like you see it, Andy. I don't like, and I also don't see Samuel Jackson's performance as necessarily good in this either.
I didn't say it was good. I said he was playing it straight.
Yeah, I think this is like a really weird, rickety performance from him in the movie. That's not typical of what he usually does. Like it feels like he's kind of like
Was it lazy, you think?
lazy, not really necessarily like kind of phoning it in. But it could be like you're saying, Andy. It might be like an awareness of being in a B movie, kind of like maybe, oh, this is probably going to be a B movie, and maybe I don't need to drill down or offer much else.
No, the movie was simply there to create tense situations, which it did really well.
It's Poseidon Adventure and Jaws all smushed together. Is kind of I think what they were trying to
and
do.
very Jurassic Park too.
Yeah,
There's so many
definitely.
Jurassic Park beats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love the setting. I think the setting is so cool. A research facility way out in the ocean with underwater labs.
I like this movie looked expensive. It looked really good in
Yeah.
terms of sets.
Yeah, they
and-
probably had to pay a pretty penny to
and
create what
the,
they
Yeah.
the
did.
water scenes. I think it was really well made.
Except for the CGI sharks, but that was kind of the
Well,
best
it
you
was
could get at
the
the
best
time.
at the time. It was.
Yeah.
We're looking at it through 2024 eyes.
It
Yeah.
doesn't hold up, but it's fine because it was fine then. It was fine for then.
It was fine then.
So it'll be fine now.
I can't remember. Like, I'd love to hear a conversation like we would have had after seeing this the first time. I bet we were jazzed as hell.
I think, did I see this by myself in the movie theater? I feel like I did.
I don't remember.
And I don't know why I would have.
I remember loving it when it first came out.
Yeah.
But I mean, we really didn't have anything else like it. Now you have what, like how many shark movies to choose from?
And it's also nostalgia too. It's like the 90s were the blockbuster summer movie era.
Yeah.
And this felt cozy.
Yeah. Because it's that. You know what? It almost gives off a little bit of like Star Trek in the set design and then in the sets.
Yeah, and the nature of it.
Or Sequest.
Yeah, Sequest for sure.
And the
Little bit more
characters, a lot of red shirts in this movie.
Oh, there are lots of red
Everyone can
shirts.
be a red shirt in this movie. I love how they bring the shark up to study it, right? They have it kind of sedated, more or less, and Stellan Skarsgård is just having a cigarette and trying to enjoy like some rest for once because he's earned it. And that fucking shark bites his arm off.
Just bit his arm right off.
And that's like the beginning of the end there, because from there it's just like from worst to worst to worst to worst.
Yeah.
Helicopter rescue scene of him was very tense.
Yeah.
Really well done.
Well, the whole movie was tense. I liked how the pacing. There was no lagging. It threw you right in.
Once it got going, it got going. This is true.
It just put the foot on the gas pedal and just kept going.
Yeah, very satisfying at a lot of moments throughout.
There's this moment where they were talking about how they were genetically modifying the sharks and how that's against policy, and then it was like against the law, and then it's against chimera policy, which is human animal hybrid, and it's actually real. The National Institutes of Health has a ban on that. They have a chimera policy. I looked it up.
Really?
Oh, so
I
this
was
movie
intrigued.
is scientifically accurate too.
As much as
Except for squirting shark
just for
juice
that
on
little
brain
bit,
lumps.
for that 1.001% of the movie.
Yeah.
It was
where they
kind of
said
like
that line.
the miracle gravy. It was kind of like you just pour it on the brain,
Yeah.
more or less, because they kind of just squirting it on the brain when they show
Basically.
when they're giving like their proof of concept. They're like, look, lightning bolts.
Yeah, and they're seeing like the brain refiring and kind of regenerating.
Yeah.
So
Neurons going.
a side effect of the genetically modification is the sharks grow, but also their brains grow to
They get smart.
a little too smart. They're very like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park.
I did wait a few times. I thought they were going to use their like flippers to do something, like their little side fins, to,
Like flip us off or something.
or like to open something. You know,
like Jurassic Park.
yeah,
open the
like they
doors.
did with the door. Yeah, I thought and at one point when it was in the shark's point of view, I said it to Amy. I said I want to see two little flippers come in on either side and like work a knob.
Yeah, but they did do like problem solving and using tools.
They recognized that they were holding a gun and backed off.
Yeah.
And they used Stellan Skarsgård as a tool to break the glass.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a very like higher intelligence animal trait.
They were hurting them all so they could get the water level to rise so they could get over the fence.
Didn't they say
and
at one
escape.
point the
Do
shark?
you not understand, Andy?
That's
a little much.
Okay, I understand like smart sharks. That's scary. But they figured out the whole layout of the inner workings of the
inside and outside of
the
this
laboratory.
facility.
Yeah.
They knew how to where to flood the water.
They knew what the humans would do so they could anticipate and then therefore correct them and move them in the way they wanted to go. This movie is campier than I thought.
Wait a
it
minute.
was.
Were
Now
they
I'm talking
doing that
about
on purpose? That wasn't just a coincidence that they were getting flooded?
Well,
No, the sharks were trying to get them.
The sharks were deliberately flooding the
Flooding
compartments.
it.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. That never set in because it
and
sounds so
also,
stupid, I think.
the sharks got lucky because of the storm.
Yeah.
Or did they plan this? Did they?
They waited
plan
for the
weather?
storm.
Did they have
They control the weather. And,
the space lasers?
Yep.
Did they anticipate that there was going to be a storm, and that's when they knew they can bite
They were like,
Skarsgård's
"Tonight."
arm off, and they knew that he was going to be airlifted away?
They knew that one would be taken. They knew that one would be brought into the lab. They knew that it would have access to biting. Then they knew the storm was coming. Then they knew.
It would have been really neat as if like a big part of the first act was the sharks telling the plan like in a heist movie and everything going
Like,
just
all
right.
Here's the plan.
Yeah.
And they knew that a helicopter was going to airlift this person away, and they knew that.
Yes.
Well, their original plan was to hijack the helicopter and fly over the fence.
I love Free Willy or something.
Yeah, because see, things don't always go right. If you watch the heist scenes that were deleted from the beginning, where the sharks are planning everything,
Where they're like, son of a bitch, I'm in.
they're gonna take the helicopter.
And the shark's got a little mustache on,
Yeah.
and a suit and a briefcase.
And those 3 giant sharks are crammed in that little helicopter.
So as smart
Jabberjaw.
as these sharks are, they kind of did get lucky with the storm. But once they took advantage of the situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were smart sharks they did smart things. Too smart. But think about how horrific that would be if you knew that there were super smart sharks out there.
Yeah.
Like, we would be fucked.
I'm
as
scared of dumb
people,
sharks.
Right?
Yeah. They're supposed to be.
humanity.
Did they say 40 feet long? Is that right in the movie?
45 foot.
45 feet. Yeah.
How long is a great white? Are they
I
45
think
feet?
like 20 feet's a big deal.
So these are way bigger.
Yeah, I think in Jaws, wasn't Jaws 30 feet or something, they guessed?
I don't know.
Or something like that. I can look
Bigger
it
than
up.
Jaws.
They say it.
I don't know. Even they could have been 40 because that's 4 stories tall.
They said 45
Yeah,
foot.
they did.
Damn. Then
I
how,
wrote it down.
Then how could these sharks swim through these hallways of this facility?
It's not for you to understand. Just go with it.
If you just put in how long is Jaws, you get the runtime.
I didn't question half of this shit
Yes,
watching
here's-
it.
Like, but
Now that
we
we're
are.
talking about it.
Because just looking at it,
25 feet, Jaws.
they say 45 feet or 40 feet, but then you look at them compared. There's a lot of close-up shots with
Yeah.
them with the people.
Yeah,
And
that
comparatively,
they don't look that big.
The proportions are way off.
Yeah, like when Thomas Jane's like wrangling the one
Yeah.
and has the fin, like if it were 45 feet, it would look more like a whale or something, right?
Like a megalodon or something.
Yeah, I don't know if they bothered like scaling things
and that,
properly.
like the scenes with LL Cool J and the shark in the kitchen, that's not a 40-foot shark in that
No,
kitchen.
it wouldn't be.
That's like that old expression, you're like a 40-foot shark in a kitchen. It's like a bull in China shop.
That's a
Only
deleted.
wetter.
That sounds like a deleted lyric from a Alanis Morissette song.
The movie was super claustrophobic, which is very effective for me because I'm very claustrophobic. So
Yeah.
the whole scene where LL Cool J is in the
Vent.
In
Or
the oven.
The oven, yeah.
and then the oven, then they turns the oven on.
The shark
shark
did, yeah.
Turn the oven on.
I feel that was a little bit of luck on the shark's
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, I think
too.
that was an accident.
It was bad luck ultimately because he got
For the-
blowed up from the
But
gas.
so LL is stuck in the gas oven, and he's trapped. But he gets out by axing the metal above him to get to the top level oven.
Mm-hmm.
But there's gas flowing in. That's risky.
Because the
Axing
metal hitting metal could send out sparks.
Could, but it
But
worked out.
I guess he had no other choice. But
He should have exploded.
yes.
Do you
He
think
should
a
have exploded
Zippo
when the shark exploded because he was like right in that explosion.
is a lit Zippo? Do you think a hurl? Because this happens all the time in movies. Someone lights a Zippo and then they throw it, and it's still lit the whole time.
I think Zippos are supposed to.
Withstand that.
That's why they're so great.
They're
That's
made
why
for
you
blowing
hold
up
on to
bad
them.
guys, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, and it was like wet in that room. Like there was
Yeah.
water coming from everywhere,
Yeah.
and that flame withstood.
It did.
It's really admirable when you think about it.
Zippos were pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why people hand them down and they become like
Family heirloom.
heirlooms.
Someone
and shit
was like,
because they
I
work so good.
had this during the war.
Yep.
Yeah, saved my life.
It's got a bullet dent in it
Yeah,
from where it actually saved somebody's life.
or it could be like he could retrieve the LL Cool J watch from the shark encounter.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like, I used this to avenge my bird.
Mm-hmm.
The wisecracking bird
Yeah.
that cursed and had like one-liners.
Amy remembered the bird coming back.
I had a memory.
Did you think it was gonna fly back after like the shark got blowed up?
I don't know what I was thinking, but in my head there was an after credit sequence where the bird like lands next to LL Cool J, and he's like, "Oh my god, my bird's still alive!"
Oh my God, my bird! My bird! Oh my God!
That's great writing for LL Cool J.
Like-
Oh my god!
Like, what was I thinking? Because that did not happen. I
Because-
feel like this is a Mandela effect situation.
I think in your mind you thought
wanted
that's
it.
the way that movie was going to,
yeah,
because it was so stupid everywhere else.
I guess.
The
I don't know what I was thinking.
the bird coming back, I kind of felt like it was going to happen too for some reason. So you're not alone.
Well, it's because I said so. I'm like, oh, you know.
Yeah, I like how the
Bird's
bird
okay.
gets swallowed whole. So the bird might have flown back out. Yeah,
But he got
later.
blown up.
But then they blew up the shark.
But did you see the shark swallow the bird?
Can birds
Wasn't there a little gap
swim?
between where maybe the shark coughed?
Can a parrot swim?
Can a shark cough?
But it's like that movie trope, like you never see the body, so you don't know it's dead yet.
Yeah.
That's right.
Duh.
Schrodinger's bird.
Everybody knows. You got to see the body first. Yeah, Saffron Burrows, she didn't do nothing for me.
Michael Rappaport was very charming in this movie.
Yeah.
I thought.
He was pretty great.
Did he have more than two sentences strung together at all, or is it just one-liners throughout the whole movie?
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think his job was to be like a vulnerable, scared dude
No,
for Thomas Jane to look after.
I'm just talking about how there were so many like quips and puns and one-liners in
Oh,
this
yeah.
movie.
Oh yeah, from Michael Rappaport.
The whole like everybody.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I cannot come up with one.
No, it's like everything was just jokey and
Playful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't come up with any like snappy dialogue. I mean, I know there is. I'm gonna
Oh,
look.
the dialogue I wrote down as being especially notable was "You stupid bitch," which is what the blonde marine biologist said to Saffron Burrows after Stellan Skarsgård died. She said, "You stupid bitch."
Oh, I found one.
That was
made me laugh.
satisfying, actually.
Yes.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yes.
It just if you're gonna have last words.
Because that was like, she said that after Saffron Burr was revealed that she went against protocol and
Yeah.
genetically modified these sharks.
She's like,
Yep.
that's why they're so big now.
She
Sorry.
she conned them.
Preacher, who is LL Cool J's character, says, "Oh, I'm done. Brothers never make it out of situations like this. Not ever."
They did play up that trope quite a bit in a funny way.
And speaking of his name, Preach, it's kind of off-put about the religion stuff.
Yeah, because he was very, very religious. Like he was by himself for a large portion of the movie, and he would talk to God and everything.
And also that the scene where they had to float to the surface and they're saying the Lord's Prayer like
Oh,
loudly.
you mean like all of them together doing it?
But it ends with like, "Yea, though I walk through the,
Yeah.
I'm the baddest motherfucker.
I'm the
in
baddest
valley.
motherfucker."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it got a little blasphemous.
And also like he's like proselytizing all the time to the other survivors.
that's why they call him
You know,
preacher.
I didn't mind that because it felt like it was contained to the character and it wasn't like the movie was
No,
proselytizing.
I get it, but like
anything.
I'm just really off-put by religion in general.
Yeah,
so
I think it
just
can be
seeing
it can be an interesting thing about a character though for me. Like chances are that his character would be religious. I think a lot of guys who work out on put their themselves out in the middle of the ocean believe in God because that way they can build up the courage to do it because they're like something's protecting me. Because like those guys that go out on those fishing vessels and stuff, I can't imagine it being just for money. I would have to have some sort of belief that something was like watching over me to do it because that's scary shit, man.
yeah. A lot of them are like scientists and such that like go to Antarctica and go to these remote stations.
Yeah, but there are also a lot of people who have some sort of faith.
Well, yeah.
And that
Working out on, like, oil rigs
they're always
and-
the ones that shock me because they're people who I would assume are so scientifically minded they would just naturally be atheists because it makes sense. But then you'll tune. I used to listen to Star Talk all the time, the Neil deGrasse Tyson show, and it was always surprising to me the number of people that would go in there and then talk about God too. And I'm like, you were just explaining everything before and it made sense, and now you're here.
If you're cool, then you can just say God created all these things
it's
that
like
are science.
divine creation.
Right. But I think people who are drawn to doing those far out research jobs, they have that kind of feeling like they're gonna survive because they're doing something that is of
They have a higher power.
they have a higher power looking out for them.
Yeah.
I think they believe that. A lot of them, not all of them.
Maybe they're just badasses.
Bad
Some of
fucking
them are
ass.
just badasses.
Those
There are people with death wishes.
Yeah.
That would be
Going to
Thomas
these
Jane's character. right?
remote places and setting your movie in that is like catnip to me. I'm into it every time. We've talked about this a million times, but just to re-up, space or the ocean, which is scarier to you?
Space. because my biggest fear out of space is just drifting off
Yeah.
into the abyss.
Yeah.
Water, you drown.
Yeah.
I mean, and the choice of, and apparently that's a more pleasant death.
Drowning?
Yeah.
Than being like a depressurized?
Yeah. In exploding.
Yeah. I wonder how far out into space do you have to get for when you would do that, when you would start expanding and pop?
Is that real or is that just
I don't know
a
if it's
movie
real.
thing?
I don't know. I'm no scientist.
I mean, I've always heard like either you're from movies and TV that either you freeze to death in space or just pop.
Whatever happened to Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total
No, you
Recall?
don't explode in space, but you will
Oh.
experience other dangerous effects. Ebulism, the vacuum of space, causes liquids inside, or ebulism, I guess, inside your skin to expand, making you swell up to twice your normal size.
Yeah, it's kind of like Total Recall when Arnold Schwarzenegger and
Yeah.
the other lady got shot out into Mars.
You know
And
what's
their
what,
eyes
Andy?
roll.
Yeah.
Your bodily fluids will begin to boil though,
Ooh,
and you'll get
that sounds-
sunburn.
Okay, so definitely
Sunburn.
rather go to the bottom of the ocean than.
See, I find the ocean much scarier because of all the life teeming in it that is big and weird and with big teeth. Whales scare me to death. They're too big.
Whales are very intimidating.
See, I'm more. That would excite me more just seeing
Yeah.
this weird creature.
What
I-
about you, Freddy? Scarier.
Space to me, like and the ocean both are these infinite things I can't comprehend. They're like equal for the most part. But if I'm still on Earth, at least if I'm like at least floating in the ocean, that's better than floating in space.
True.
So I have to go with I prefer ocean to space if I had to pick my end between those two.
Yeah, because those two astronauts that got caught up in space. You guys are right, but I'm just more afraid of the water, really deep water. Those two astronauts that got trapped up in space. If they got trapped out on a boat, we can go get them with a helicopter.
I get scared just thinking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like my heart started going
Yeah.
going like
you going.
a little bit thinking about being stuck in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah,
Oof.
I know.
And that's
With
that's
a genetically
only scarier.
modified shark.
Like that's scary because I've been in the ocean. I've been in water where there are sharks, and it's a real thing. I can think back to it, and it's scary. I've never been in anything like space, so like I think I get less anxious thinking about the space stuff.
Like water,
yeah.
like the ocean thing. That's in a way scary because it's more relatable. Like, what are the odds that we're going to space?
Right? Yeah, that too. It's just more close to home.
Surprise! I'm going to
they
space
say.
next week. I'm going to be a space tourist. No, I'm not.
So wait,
I don't want to go to either of them. Let's be real.
the breakdown here. There were 3 sharks here, and I'm sorry to go back to Deep Blue Sea.
Yes,
real quick.
please.
The
Thank you for your apology.
the 3 sharks. I lost track of 2 of 3 sharks. Right. Well, LL Cool J kills one by blowing it up. Right.
Yes.
We can presume that shark is dead.
Yes.
So that leaves 2 sharks. Right.
And I only remember one more dying.
Yeah.
No,
at the end. Yeah.
Saffron Burrows electrocutes another one.
That one died.
Yeah, I forgot it.
Thank
And
you.
then I guess, alpha shark is the last survivor, and she floats to the surf, not the top level, and is trying to break through the fence at the end.
Yeah, and then it gets blowed up.
Okay.
So they
All right.
killed
We lost the electrocution.
the
one.
electrocution ones, which I'm surprised I forgot because that's how they killed the shark in Jaws 2. So they did Jaws 1 and Jaws 2 type deaths.
What's the one where the underwater zoo, like aquarium?
3.
That's 3.
So they did 3 too because when they
burned him?
when they
They broke the glass.
break the glass with
Oh,
Stellan
that too.
Skarsgård's body.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
too.
if in any underwater movie and there's an observation window, S can get broke.
yeah.
It makes
So
me feel
don't stand by the observation window, please.
it makes me feel uncomfortable in real life when you go through those like tunnels at like our aquarium. Where were we at where there was a chip taken out and it was like had a plaque on it? We were somewhere.
Probably Newport.
It was either the Newport Aquarium,
Was
but I
it the
don't think
Bahamas?
so. I think when we were in Gatlinburg,
Oh,
I think they have an aquarium there, and I think it was there
they had a chip.
that there was a chip taken out of one of those,
Yeah,
in those observation tunnels that you go through,
with the sharks.
which is just terrifying.
Those are usually like lemon sharks, right?
I
in
don't
those
know.
the smaller aquariums. They still look scary.
I'm no marine biologist.
Sharks are scary.
Sharks are terrifying. Do you think the actors enjoyed being wet every day, all the time, for, I'm sure, a couple of months of filming?
Because they were working with Thomas Jane.
Good one, babe.
He's he's a lot squintier than I remember.
Squinchy.
Yeah,
No, like his performance was all squinty
Lot of
eyes.
squint.
Oh, squinty.
Yeah.
I thought you said squinchy. And I'm like, what's that mean?
Squinchy. It's like when you squanch. When people expect you to squeep. You know.
You know. No, they were wet all the time. And I kept thinking to myself.
Like Roman Reigns.
Right, like his hair from the wrestling guy.
He's more moist than wet.
It's just, it had to have been miserable and chafing and just
And all the prune
soggy
skin.
and pruny skin all the time.
That's what they don't show you. That's what they should have spent a lot of money on is CG prune skin. Or just real prune. Prune them up.
That's why the CGI doesn't hold up so great. They didn't use all their CGI budget on that.
Yeah.
They
Let's-
just saved some of it for
Well,
the
let's talk
pretty
about
skin.
the CGI. Like, I didn't think it was that bad.
It was pretty bad.
Did you think it was
I
that
thought it was
bad?
pretty
Okay.
There was a mix.
Compared to
it was a
nowadays.
mixed bag.
That's all, and it's
Like-
not its fault.
Well, what parts did you think were bad?
When Saffron-
Fast movement.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Saffron Burrows' death in particular, I thought looked like shit.
What about the Michael Rappaport death where he got bit in half, then you could see his legs twitching?
That was fun.
I thought that was better.
Yeah.
And what about the shark that
was
jumped out the water and ate Samuel L. Jackson?
Ah, yes,
That was
the
pretty
classic.
bad.
That was really bad.
That one might have been one of the worst effects in the movie, but you know what? The scene's so great, I totally forgive it.
Because the changeover to a digital Samuel L. Jackson is not smooth, and
Yeah.
you can tell.
The problem sometimes is that the sharks move so gracefully that it just looks fake, and it could be that it looks like a real shark, and maybe that just
We
looks
don't
fake.
know.
Well, like Fred
Yeah.
said, like the scene with Samuel Jackson was so unexpected and silly that
Yeah.
I couldn't overlook it.
It's like when Nancy's mom gets pulled through the door
Yeah.
at the end of Nightmare on Elm Street. It reminded me of that.
It's great. It's a great shocking moment. Pretty much defines the movie in my
Yeah,
head.
because like you said, it was a shocking moment because I thought his character was going to be more involved
Right,
than just a sudden death like that.
right.
Yeah, definitely.
He just is monologuing, just giving his all.
Because he survived.
Sort of.
He's notorious. This character survived a plane crash in the mountains. Like,
Yeah.
and they never get the full story, but they hint at it. People will kind of mention it throughout. And then he's about to tell them the big secret is that some of them killed each other before they made it down off the mountain. And it wasn't all just like they were cool with each other. Like there was real survival shit happening. And right when he's saying that shit, he gets eat up.
Boom.
That's a fucking
Shark.
great moment.
Yeah.
And I liked how he was the billionaire guy, like a who's that Virgin Atlantic guy?
Oh, Richard Branson.
Richard Branson,
Yeah.
or like a Musk type character.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a complete jerk.
No.
He was just he had a lot of arrogance and bluster about him, but he wasn't.
No, he wasn't a.
He
asshole
didn't
or
like screw
anything.
over other people because he needed to like save the research or something.
Yeah,
So I thought
he just seemed enthusiastic about
Yeah,
everything.
I like that kind of spin on the industrialist character because
Well, it makes more sense too, because like, why would he come in there at conflict with them like that? Because don't you feel like that's lazy? They already have enough shit that's about to hit the fan.
Yeah.
You don't need to have him come and being a jerk too.
yeah, even like in Jurassic Park, the Richard Attenborough, is that Richard Attenborough?
Yeah.
His character, he had like it's like, we're gonna solve this problem. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna solve the problem of dinosaurs. And
The
like,
problem with dinosaurs is that they shouldn't be alive.
yeah. And Samuel Jackson's character didn't have that. He was just trying to rally the troops and get out of the situation.
He thought he was just going to bring him like company pins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little did he know, he's going to be somebody's lunch.
I bet their company pens are real fun. I bet like they have the little shark that goes up.
Their pin is like a shark's fin. Is that what you're
No,
saying?
like remember those pens that have like the little water out the bottom and like you turn them, and the
Those
shark
were cool.
the shark goes like up and down.
Yes,
the,
yes,
the
yes,
shaft
yes,
of the pen.
Yes, the shaft of
Up
the
and down
pen.
the shaft.
The shark shaft. I bet that's what they. I bet they have fun corporate material.
Promotional
Yeah.
items.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
a mouse pad with a bite taken out of it.
Yeah,
Adorable.
I bet they have great like company parties too.
What was the name? Do you
Seafood
know what
as
the
far
name
as I can
was?
see.
Yeah.
Chimera Industries. I think.
Chimera was the name of the company
I think
too.
so, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Excuse me for my
Not important.
Or it's like a
Just a little
Quadicon or something.
detail, Yeah. Initech.
I guess I just wanted it to be sillier, like the Meg.
Do you remembered it as being silly?
I remembered it being sillier than it was.
But like
It's still pretty silly.
Yeah.
the problem I have with the Meg is like it went a little too far into like, hey, look what we're doing, isn't this funny?
The first one or the second one?
Both.
I've not
yeah.
seen the second one.
But this one it had some sincerity, but there are times also when it went to camp territory, like not knowing camp territory. It was a
Yeah.
good mix of camp and knowing camp.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rennie Harlan too, just kind of, he's kind of a silly, like his stuff always has a little bit of a silly sheen to it that I can't
It's
quite.
almost like he's like a lesser Verhoeven,
Yeah. Or,
you know,
Not as sexy Verhoeven.
because Verhoeven knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
But he doesn't push it too far where it gets stupid.
yeah.
But I think in some scenes, Rennie Harlan knew exactly what kind of movie he was making, like the scene with Michael Rappaport where he gets bit in half and his legs start twitching. You know,
Yeah.
you know,
Do you
scenes like
think,
that.
I think he was kind of like exercising a little bit of a mean streak too. Yeah, like with some of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like the gruesome element of it, which I like. Well, he just did the new Strangers movie too.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I kind of want to watch it now that I know
Yeah,
it was him. See if his style has changed at all.
could be interesting.
And speaking of death scenes, the other research lady, I'd love that death scene where she's like trying to reach for.
Yeah.
They're stuck in that little tube of water.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to die.
Yeah, and she can't just. She's in the water, and Thomas Jane is trying to reach for her, and she can't quite reach him. But then the shark takes her underwater, and then she's gone for a little bit, and then the shark jumps out the
Then she
water,
can-
Yeah.
and she's in
She's
the shark's
screaming.
mouth, and
See, that's a Rennie Harlan
Yeah.
signature thing. That because he did that in Cliffhanger too in the beginning. Have you ever seen it, Amy?
no, but I know what happens in the beginning.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what
Everybody
happens.
knows what happens in the beginning of
beginning
Cliffhanger. Yeah, but it's very similar to the shark eating the scientist.
yeah, I like
here.
to think that the shark was kind of playing, like teasing the girl he ate by like, look, you can reach his hand. No, you can't.
Cruel. That's
Yeah.
part of their cruel
And
intelligence.
boo to Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Fuck off.
he's got the face he deserves.
Yeah. You fucking.
Yeah.
Took a little too many shots to the head, did ya?
You and Hulk Hogan can eat shit.
And big old like gelled up lips and
He looks awful. Is he filtering somebody, or is that just he looks
That's
like
just
he
the way
has
he
a
looks.
filter? Oh my god, he's wearing makeup then.
Well, he's taken after his Lord and Savior.
Yeah, well, that's a shame.
it is
Can't
a
have
shame.
Stallone anymore.
I mean, you could still enjoy his work. You don't have to enjoy him.
He played a character who got hit in the head all the time. He doesn't have to act like one in real life. Anyway, neither here nor there. But fuck Sylvester Stallone.
yeah.
In this house, we love Frank. Wait, is Frank a
We're
Trumper?
a Frank household, probably.
Well,
In
since
this
it's-
house, we
yeah.
love Jackie. Wasn't that his mom's name?
Yeah.
She was the butt
Oh, they
psychic.
look
Yeah.
alike actually now.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes.
It's
But
turning into
since
her.
this is like a rock and shock episode, we're talking about musicians. in
Ladies
movies.
love Cool James.
Like how do you think LL did in this movie?
He did fine
Yeah.
with the material.
That's one of
I
my
thought he
favorite
did
things
great.
about it.
Very charismatic.
Yeah. Yes. He brought some charisma. There was Riz to be shown and had and felt.
Well, we already knew this from H2O, Halloween H2O. He was the security guard at work.
yeah.
You remember that? He was really good in that too.
I haven't seen that movie in so long.
I mean, it's a little corny. Some of his dialogue. He's kind of a corny guy, I think, and I'm like, that's what I want from LL Cool J is a little bit of like a, aw shucks. There's something wholesome about him. I know his music is sometimes real dirty.
Not as dirty as
Not as dirty
as his contemporaries.
Right. Yeah. So like,
He's a lover, not a fighter.
but he's kind of a sweet
Yeah,
guy.
like
Is he still
like-
doing NCIS?
As far as I know.
I guess I think he's a little bit unaware
Yeah.
how kind of corny he comes across, but it's like
It's cute.
it's wholesome.
Yeah.
You know.
It looks good on him.
Yeah. Remember that Unplugged where he had that blob of
deodorant. Yeah.
Oh, the
Why is
deodorant
it so
blobs.
gross? That was so gross.
Forever and ever.
But that was such a
People are
great
going to
performance
remember
too.
that, but
Yeah, I'm
at
gonna
least he was
knock you
wearing
out. Mama said, "Knock you out."
deodorant. If you don't know what we're talking about, Google LL Cool J and deodorant.
At first, I thought it was froth
Ew.
because
From his mouth?
I thought he was so jazzed up
Or the
about
ladies in the audience.
That
performing
his armpits were frothing.
that his armpits were frothing from the excitement.
Oh my!
Yeah, which makes
I
it
don't
grosser.
think that's possible.
Yeah, I thought maybe.
Maybe he
you
didn't
can-
rinse off enough in the shower or something.
Yeah,
I think you can froth from your mouth and that's it.
it was just a big chunk, like a whole bar of deodorant in there.
Hey, at least he smelled good.
Yeah,
I wonder if the audience got sprayed like
Look-
a Gallagher concert.
like a tiny
Little
bit
Old
of.
Yeah.
Spice spraying out in the
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
At least he smelled good, you guys. You gotta leave him alone. No, he was wonderful. You know, I'm just in this phase of my life where I need dumb, and I'll talk about dumb here shortly.
Yeah,
And I need so bad, it's funny. Not so bad it's good. So bad it's funny. And so this was almost too competent for me. It was almost too serious for me. And I wanted something a little bit sillier.
you need to readjust.
I need to adjust myself.
So, anything else you guys want to say about Deep Blue Sea? There's 2 sequels. I'll just throw that out there.
I bet those give me the bad that I want.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, it's not a great movie, but I was sure as hell entertained.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far we've had, as part of this theme, we kicked things off with Vamp. Then we did Trick or Treat, and now we've done Deep Blue Sea. If you had to rank the 3 so far, where you at?
Trick or Treat, Vamp, Deep Blue Sea,
Yeah,
if you were wondering.
I was curious.
I'm gonna. Is it fair if I say the movie I picked is
Of course.
the
Yeah.
best for me?
Yeah.
It was Vamp, then Deep Blue Sea, then Trick or Treat.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think they're all comparable in terms of
Yeah.
quality and enjoyment. But
Desert Island. These are only 3 movies you get to pick from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
but
What do
next week we got a listener's pick.
Yeah, we have Strangeland coming up. Violet selected that. If you want to pick a main attraction, just sign up for our mailing list at
And you'll get the
Oh, but
opportunity.
how would you rank yours? I forgot to ask.
I think I'd rank mine like yours. I think, Andy, maybe I might swap out Trick or Treat for Vamp. They're like, for me, they're kind of on par with each other as far as like, 80s bonkers stuff.
Schlock.
But I'm always gonna lean if one of the options is usually 80s trash movies. I'm gonna probably end up there.
Now, Strangeland.
Strangeland
Is
next
that
week.
the Dee Snider movie?
Yep,
Okay.
He directed it too, didn't he?
Have I seen this before?
maybe
I don't think I have.
it's an oldie. It had a cult following when it was out on
Oldie
video.
Snyder.
Old
Dee
D. Snyder.
Snyder.
So the algorithm, I guess, huh? You were gonna say you're gonna talk about some trash.
I don't know what possessed Freddy to suggest this to me, but he, knowing where I'm at emotionally with my entertainment needs, he said, I know what you'll want to see. And he put on No Holds Barred, which is Hulk Hogan.
That could be triggering though.
Yeah. But it was so bad, and he was so bad.
It's awful.
Is this the arm wrestling one?
No,
No.
that's over the top.
Oh, okay.
No,
Was that still him over the?
No, that was
Okay.
Stallone.
Okay, I'm getting
The other
my
fuckface.
Yeah.
I'm getting my washed up Republican actors mixed up.
Okay, we'll throw some Kevin Sorbo in the mix too.
Gross.
Yeah, this movie, the reason I thought of it was I was like, and literally, this is it. I was like, what are the worst movies I've seen that I really thought were just the worst thing? And we've already revisited the past and why, but that's been in our lives too much. And then this one I knew you hadn't seen.
It's Hulk Hogan is a big time wrestler. But
What?
I know.
What?
Named Ripper because he
Named-
rips his shirts off.
Because he rips his shirt.
Oh, I was hoping it'd be arms.
Yeah, it would be better if it were
That
his
would
arms.
be better. And then he's what is the word I want? Where somebody asks you to fight them.
Well, he's being challenged.
Revenge.
by Zeus Tiny Lister. from
God, that was
Friday.
the word I needed.
Yeah.
And he's like he's the big bad guy.
He
and
was
then they're gonna
he was
fight.
in WWF for a while too.
because of this.
Yeah.
They if the movie had succeeded more, he would have stayed in there playing that character. But
This is a bad movie.
this movie is so damn bad. Have you never seen it at all?
When I was a child,
Yeah.
It's so. It was written. Apparently, they had a script written, and then Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon didn't like it, and so stayed up in a hotel room and rewrote it.
For 72 hours.
that's
if
a
that
lot of
tells
cocaine,
you-
man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cocaine.
If that tells you anything,
They probably also
About-
were all over each other, you know?
how dare you put that into my brain?
Well, apparently, like Vince McMahon's into scat play though.
Yeah. I think
So I
he's
bet
into
I bet
everything.
they pooped over each other too.
There's poop in the movie.
Two of the worst people sat and wrote this script,
Yeah.
and they wrote it for 12-year-old boys. So I was clearly not the audience. But this is an abomination of a movie. And I watched every second.
It's
of
hard
it.
to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it an abomination even without?
Hating Hulk Hogan
Yeah.
and Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really bad. It's really badly written.
It's one of
And-
those movies that is like you have to
Makes no
see it
sense.
to believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, how did this get made? Did an episode on it?
Oh.
And
Is there riff tracks on this too?
there
No.
isn't, which is a crime.
It is a crime.
This is the most riffable movie.
But then I felt to myself, I don't want to watch this and put money in Hulk Hogan's pocket, which I did.
Negligible. Not
But if
even a
Riff Tracks
penny,
did it-
probably.
So is this story that Hulk Hogan's kind of like a retired wrestler? He gets pulled out
No,
of
he's an
retirement.
active wrestler.
Okay.
He's the best.
And the thing is,
and
there's
then
this
Zeus
promoter.
wants to
So
be
it's
the
like
best.
like a Rocky movie almost, right?
Sort of. Well, because wrestling is super duper absolutely real in this
In this
movie.
world,
There is no
scripted. Stories.
nobody knows that nobody's even hinting that this is not real.
What's her name?
So, like-
Joan Severance. Do you remember her?
I don't remember the name.
Like she's put up to like seducing him, but of course she falls in love with him anyway.
Him and his little bald patch in the back with his long straight blonde hair just
You mean the?
clinging on to it is so bad. He's so gross.
I guess that's the most unbelievable thing that anybody would be honestly be into him.
Ugh.
Somebody is. That's
Ugh.
somebody's.
I know
thing.
that they say
He
there's
had
a
a
lid.
sex tape.
There's
Yeah.
a lid for every pot, but
Yeah.
oh god,
Yeah, well,
like awful personality aside, like
Somebody
physically.
somebody loves Terry
Ew.
Hogan. Terry, whatever his last real name is,
Terry,
Is it-
Florida man.
Begins with a B, doesn't it?
something like
Like
that.
Benetti or something.
I don't know.
Anyway, so is he stars in the movie he deserves?
Yeah.
This is the movie he deserves. There's a character named Dookie because he shits
That's
his
kinda fun.
pants. Yeah. Well, the guy, he's so scared of Hulk Hogan, he pulls him up. Hulk Hogan's holding him, and the back of his pants are all wet.
No, it was Zeus, wasn't it? Or no, it was Hulk Hogan.
It was Hulk Hogan, and he's holding the guy up, and then you cut to this back of his suit's all wet and dripping.
Didn't he say like, "What's that?"
Well,
smell
first
or
you think he
something?
pissed his pants, and he says, "What's that smell? What's that smell, brother?" And he says, "Dookie."
This is
It's
the level.
Dookie, and it's
right.
dripping off of him.
And that's his.
It's wet.
That's
He
how he got
diarrheaed
the name
himself.
because he shits himself all the time.
Well, that's how they credited him in the credits as Dookie.
Oh, okay. I thought his name was Dookie.
I don't know. The
already.
character's name might be Dookie.
Let's
That's-
flesh
that's-
out the character. So
Let's flush down the
in-
character.
I thought it was like a squid. That's his like defense mechanism. He, like shits and
squirts out diarrhea.
Gross. It was gross. Even it was grimy. And like the what's the wrestling place they go to? That's like a bar, underground bar.
It's just an underground bar.
And there's all this.
Is there a cage
spitting.
involved? Is there like a cage match
No.
involved? Okay.
You kinda, yeah. When he goes to that place, wasn't that kind of like that?
I don't. It doesn't matter.
I thought it was. It's almost like that scene in X-Men where Wolverine is hanging out in that bar. But imagine that, but with like pink eye all around.
And also like Hulk Hogan looks like a mutant too.
Yeah, he does.
He looks like he would give you pink eye.
It's Hulk Hogan. Like just let go of the hair, dude.
Just fucking shave.
Does he
your
still have
head.
that little thing?
little fringe?
The fringe?
Yeah, he does.
At this point, it's like a weave, isn't it?
How could you weave? What would you be weaving into? Other bald spots?
Or is
Just
it,
right
is
into
it-
his skin.
or is this like a lace front, but just around the perimeter?
It's like he's always got some sort of thing on his head. like
Like a bandana or
like
something.
Bret Michaels, and so
He wears the tiniest little panties in this movie.
oh god, he does.
There's a scene where he has to share a hotel room with Joan Severance, and he's being a gentleman.
He has to share a hotel room. They didn't know they were going to have to share a hotel room, but they have to share the room and the bed. So they're getting ready for bed. He comes out in the world's tiniest little tank top and the world's tiniest little shorts.
Ugh.
That means he packed himself some pajamas. Name me a man that does that.
But they were also.
I have to tell you to pack pajamas or something to wear to sleep in, Freddy, when we travel. A man is not going to pack himself color coordinated tank top and little shorty shorts.
We know guys that would do that, though.
Oh, I guess
To
you're
be
right.
fair,
I guess you're right, but not this kind of guy.
no, you don't expect it out of this guy.
I just thought it was ridiculous.
The little Fredericks of Hollywood panties are coming
They
later.
were so
though.
short, Andy.
Not just the shorts, but then later there's literally like that little banana hammock thing. Where is it after they've already been romantic with each other?
So are they trying to portray him as like a sex symbol
Of
in this
course,
scene?
yeah.
Definitely. It's real gross.
I know. It makes me want to vomit. He's so gross. Sorry. Dunking on Hulk Hogan,
Part of
but
it,
he deserves it.
He was exercising his butt, right?
Was there a
and he
close up?
woke her up.
Was there a close up of his clenched butt cheeks?
He
Yeah,
was doing
'cause
push-ups.
he was
off
doing.
the
Oh, is
bed.
that what it was?
Yeah.
It looked like his butt though was like the preeminent, like
No.
most important thing in the frame, right? Are you sure about that?
It doesn't matter,
I
Freddy.
remember two like buns that look like brioche. You know,
I think your mind just filled in the blanks.
maybe it did. But she wakes up because this is when they have the divider down the. You can put the divider down the middle of the room like Brady Bunch style.
Yeah.
And then she feels the bed moving real hard in the middle of the night, and she peeks.
I'm
on the
like,
other side.
is he vigorously jerking off over
Yeah.
there? Because I think that's what they want you to think.
Yeah, obviously.
Because this was written for 12-year-old boys.
But he's exercising because he can't stop because otherwise he won't be so
Because he's
hulkster. I guess.
he's such a prime athlete that he can't. He dedicates his life to it.
That's right.
Anyway, no holds barred.
I'm sorry, Amy.
No, you know what? I'm
loved
glad
it.
I saw it.
I feel like you didn't put
now
up
I
much of a
know.
fight to watch.
No, I didn't, because I was like, I'm
you
in the
resigned
mood.
to your fate.
Yeah.
I was in the mood for something stupid, and I got it. Oh boy, did I!
You
get
don't
it.
see. You seem to think I wanted to see the movie. I did
You
not.
suggested it.
I suggested because I knew what Amy likes. There's a difference.
But there's a
mess.
world of shit out there.
There is.
I would
you chose
never.
this.
I would never revisit No
Yeah.
Holds Barred on my own alone.
We started a movie called Necropolis. Got 5 minutes in. Turned that off.
was
So
not
you know we have standards.
We do try things. There are certain things that click, and some that don't.
Yeah. Anyway.
A fall from grace is usually a pretty good qualifier. Like when you have an actor like you're like, oh, there's Hulk Hogan. Things usually go his way. Let's watch this instead. Might be the appeal. So bad.
Yeah. What about you, Andy? You've been watching?
Oh, I
anything?
haven't been watching anything, but lately since I've been just curled in bed depressed,
Yeah,
so
sure.
I'm gonna use my time wisely in bed. So I've started reading Stephen King's It.
Oh my God!
yeah.
It is my favorite book.
So good.
Yeah, I'm about the copy I have. I'm like 100, 200 pages in.
Yeah.
I got to the point where it's the flashback where they're in the 50s and they're talking about what's his name, Eddie Corcoran.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his brother got killed.
They got killed. It did.
I'm at that point. Yeah, it's really good so far.
Good.
But it takes a while to get into Stephen King's writing style.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because he's writing from the lingo of the 50s or he's just an old man. And
Both.
that's
Why
the
can't both
type
be
of
true?
language he uses.
Well, when he wrote that, he was younger than you are.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, like,
But he's always been old.
yeah, he's always been old. So I guess he just knows how he writes what he knows. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of language that I do not understand.
I always take the context clues like
Yeah,
Hospital
I do. But
Johnny,
yeah.
Astronaut Chicken.
And just like,
Stroke book.
but he's always had like in that kind of like a stereotype of family. He's got like some out of touch
Yes.
slang terms, but it's just
Certainly nowadays.
the things from the 50s that seem genuine, not
Yeah.
fake.
That would be the real stuff that
Yes,
he would
that's
know.
confusing to me
Yeah.
a little bit. And then the throw in the weird slang and lingo.
Yeah, wasn't one of the words like goochers or something?
There's a bunch of them. I can't.
I don't
If I
remember.
That's one I can't. I don't have no idea what that
Yeah.
I
means.
need to reread.
Yeah.
It's been too long. It's my
But
last one.
yeah, it's like I like how there's certain things you can't convey in movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I like how he just goes in depth so much into the characters, and you really get to know them. It's real sad though, even though
It's a heartbreaker.
Yeah, it's a little heavy because all these poor little kids just have awful lives.
That's what you don't get as much of. In the miniseries did a okay job of really conveying how evil and dark this town is, and how there's something wrong there, and you don't get it as much. You get it somewhat in the miniseries, but you don't really get it in the new movies. I don't think just the real like history of it all. Oh, I love how in depth.
Well, at some points I was kind of like, "Come on, Steven, get with it. Get moving a little bit."
Let's go.
I love that's one of the few books,
But
I just could languish in that.
Yeah,
in
like,
the pacing.
but like it hits you later what his intent is, what he's doing.
Right.
Like I got to the point where he's describing Derry, the town, and the layout, and like you said, it really describes how evil this and cursed this place is. At first, I was like, do I really need to know what Derry is really like? But then you see
of it.
how it affects everything in the town, from the way the rivers and the creeks are laid out, and how it's kind of like being destroyed from within.
Yeah.
It took me a little while to get into his writing style, but I like how he kind of luxuriates and
it's escapist. I think like I always feel like he's one of those few writers where I feel like literally transported when I read his stuff. Not to sound corny or anything, but like I feel like Derry is like one of the great literary locations.
It's a
of all
character in
time.
itself.
Yeah.
It kind of
It's a stereotype,
even though I hate that phrase.
cliche for a reason.
And
It's
like
the only way to say it.
the other thing I took kind of getting used to is how he jumps from like character to character and perspective so much.
Yeah.
And like so much like inner monologues and dialogue and just and all the time jumps within like the same like paragraph or chapter at times too. Like it takes a while to get into, but once you're into it,
Right.
it really works.
Wait till you read the Game of Thrones books. If the shifting perspectives is
That was too much for me on the Game of Thrones. Though.
And also there are like another thing that was hard to get into is like who we refer to something that hasn't been spoke about yet. So you're like, what is that he's referring to?
See, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he sets something up.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you'll read like, just as an example, this isn't specifically it, but it'll be like, she would die that afternoon, and then you hear the person's whole day before they pass away.
Yeah.
Like that's one of his normal things he would do.
And like he would refer to a lot of times like the tragedies that happen in Derry, but you have like no context of what it is yet.
right,
And
like the black spot.
yeah,
The Black
exactly.
Spot Fire,
That
It's
and
great.
he refers to the turtle a lot. And I'm like, what the fuck is this turtle he's talking about?
You'll get
Find out
more of
about
that
the turtle.
if you'll get a lot in it, but that there's also his
turtle
shared
is
universe.
other
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, because there are times I had to stop and like actually research what he's talking about. The turtle is referred to like the Dark Tower, right?
It connects to that. Yeah.
So like when he drops, I like how he ties in his universe, but when he like drops those little things that from other stories and things that haven't happened yet in this story,
Right.
it's a little like, wait a minute, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait one gosh darn minute, Mr. King.
There are times when I'd go and read a chapter in his books, and then I'd be like, I'm gonna go back and read that again.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I feel like he was saying something I missed.
I need to buy it, or do we have it? Is it in the attic?
In the attic, I think. We have
You up there?
I think we might have it as an ebook too.
Okay.
That's a heavy book.
Yeah. But there's something that's the way I always read it. As a
Yeah.
paperback.
I get it.
Yeah.
I feel you.
And I like how he actually goes there to the extent where he describes the deaths of these children. I was like, damn.
Oh yeah.
It's like these kids are getting torn up.
Torn up.
I always feel that's kind of like
Little Georgie Denbrough, man. Phew.
like in movies when they see like children being in danger. It's like, wow, the movie's really going there
Yeah.
because it's kind of like such a taboo thing.
Is this your first Stephen King novel that you've read?
No, I've read Cujo before, and I that was an easier read.
Yeah.
I
Got shorter.
I got to a certain part in The Shining, but that suffers from like where he just lingers on certain things a little too long.
You might, once you've finished it, you might feel differently about The Shining.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you can get acclimated to his world pretty easy.
I feel there's a lot more happening in it than
Yeah.
The Shining, where it's just more contained to that hotel and certain, like a small group of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas it just seems so much bigger.
And
Yeah.
it builds a world.
Yeah.
The Shining doesn't necessarily do that. And
Yeah,
that's
I feel like
fine.
The
But
Shining
yeah,
is more
the
internal.
world, the time and effort of world building in it
Yeah.
is incredible.
You get a little more of that towards the end of The Shining when you learn more of the history of the Overlook, because he gets deeper into that, but nothing like it. Like you're saying, it is should have a map in the beginning of it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
it's
that kind of story.
It's a faster read too, because there's a lot more things happening
Yeah.
Yeah.
than just talking about the past of the characters in The Shining, and there's more interaction between actual characters and it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see where it's going.
That's wonderful, Andy.
I can't wait to hear what you think of the end.
My favorite book.
Always chokes me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, never fails.
But part of it, the reason I got was like, how are we Stephen King? Because he finally got off X.
Yep.
So
He's on-
I mean Twitter. So he's Blue Sky and Threads person now, I guess.
I've been trying to be more involved in Blue Sky. Because
You're on Blue Sky?
I'm on Blue Sky, but I haven't really posted anything because I don't have anything to say. I could say No Holds Barred is a dumb movie. Could say that.
Good.
But I haven't had anything to skeet
Is
yet.
Blue Sky, you don't need an invitation? Is
Not
that-
anymore.
Oh,
I'm going to set one up for our podcast soon. So
Cool.
I hope to see you guys there.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I'm on there as Amy NOTLP.
I'm not on there at all.
So Freddy, have
Or Amy
you
Morris. I'm not
read
sure.
or watched anything recently?
I watched the movie called Thelma, which
Oh, is that the old lady action movie?
yeah, it was really good. It was one of Richard Roundtree's last roles. I didn't even know he was in it, and then he popped up, and I'm like, oh my god! But
Gosh.
it's really good. Ken Johnson, our buddy, recommended it to me when we were at the drive-in, and it's about her. She gets scammed with the old "my grandson's in jail" scam, send bail money, but she goes after the
So
guy
it's like
who
a
did
revenge
it.
story.
Kinda, but it's actually just a really fun, sweet movie. It's really funny and it's touching without being like saccharine or sweet. It's just touching in that you watch her relationship with her grandson, which is really relatable and cool, where he helps her use the computer and stuff.
No.
And it all feels very real. And Parker Posey plays his mom, and Clark Gregg, is that his name? Who was Agent
From Agents of
Coulson?
S.H.I.E.L.D.? Yeah.
He plays his dad, and then it's just a really, really good movie. If you want a feel good, fun movie, I recommend it.
About an old lady getting scammed?
Oh, but she goes after him. Like it's not like that's just the beginning. She gets scammed, and
Okay.
pretty
You
entertaining.
say so, Freddie Morris.
It's great. It's so well acted.
Oh my God, you just love it.
Yeah. Anything else?
We did watch The Curse of the Crimson Altar,
That was a strange movie.
which is an old movie with Boris Karloff and Christopher Lee in it. It was a strange, it was not well known probably for a reason.
Well, they
It's a
even
little weird, but
Talk about Boris Karloff in the movie, and
they
he's
get
in the
meta
movie.
with it. And it was 1968 and they were
Yeah.
getting meta.
It's like Amicus or Hammer movie.
It looked like a Hammer
It's not
movie, but it's
any
not,
of those.
right?
It's Trigon or something.
Yeah, they tried. Now they're gone.
Oh, damn.
Oh, take that movie studio that no longer exists.
But it was
Barbara Steele is also in
I was
it.
about to say it's worth watching just for the cast. It doesn't really matter what else was happening.
Yeah. I was in the mood for an old timey Hammer-esque
It was cozy.
cozy movie.
I dozed off.
Yeah, you did.
It was so cozy. I dozed off.
Yeah.
That's how cozy it was. I don't normally sleep during movies.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
Don't steal my thing.
Oh, Amy started Cannonball Run, but she fell
I
asleep.
fell asleep.
She had never seen Cannonball Run. I should have
I don't
prefaced
think I
with
have
that.
either.
Really?
You should watch
That's
it.
funny.
It seemed like a fun movie. The little bit I saw before I went.
It's corny. It's super cheesy movie.
Yeah.
Cross country race. Lots of all-star cast. A lot of bad jokes.
Dean Martin looks sauced.
Oof. Yeah.
Like he was just drunk in every scene.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all.
Okay.
That's all I mean at this time. Strangeland next week. Oh wait, not all. Not all.
No, not all. You almost forgot
God,
the.
second week in a row.
Yeah.
It's because I get hungry.
Yeah.
My brain doesn't work as well. At the end of every show, we say hi to our Beelzebubs. Patreon.com/NOTLP.
We need to get you some shark juice on your brain.
I need
Yeah.
shark juice on my brain.
Just pour it out of a gravy boat. I'll try to
just
remember.
drink it.
I'll try to remember too. If both of our brains try to remember.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Try to remember.
Patreon.com/NOTLP. That's where you go to support us monetarily. These are our Beelzebubs. Matt, Branan and Emily, Jeffel, Iona Goodwin.
I own a great one. I heard someone say I own a good one
Iona Goodwin.
just before we recorded when I was watching TV.
That's so funny.
That was a line. I own a good one.
Dr. Brian, Old Dirty Bill Stirred, Bill Fahrner, Blayne Yogurt, Jordache Jeans. That's his legal name. Did you know that?
Officially changed.
Monica, Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora, Ernie, Dave, and Paul. We
Thank
did
you.
it.
Thank you so much.
for listening. Bye.
Gonna roast some chicken.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn of the Dead. And Igor made the nachos in a severed human head, and they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London.